Is that cat?
That's a cat.
That's a cat. But that's Cat. Are you Simply Cassidy from YouTube? 365 subscribers. Oh my god, the glare. Yo, 286?
That's a 3.
Oh, 380. I'm sorry. I'm bipolar.
I know you hear them crying over there like, Hector, I'm hungry and cold as shit and you can't even warm me up. I know you hear them crying.
I was busy.
I know you hear them. Dallas saying, get your ass over here. I know you hear them. They're over there going,
family friendly chat?
See, that's them crying.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to Georgia. It's like hot one day and then it's like really cold the next one, and this one is like right in the middle. So it's manageable to be outside right now. Today we're going to be doing something really awesome. So my Gen 8 has been demobilized for the past couple of months. Actually, I haven't been able to use it. So I took the steering servo off of it because this was broken. The steering linkage was broken, and I put it on the Stampede, but then I did the differential lock on the Stampede and I drove it for maybe 10 minutes and I blew the transmission. So I actually have to open that up and see what's going on with it. I don't really know what's going on. So I'm getting power from the opener and it's spinning the flywheel, but then I guess internally something's not going wrong, or something's not going, spinning it. So I got to figure that out. But this thing needs a steering servo as well, so it's using the Gen 8 steering servo in there. So first order of business, we got to take the steering servo out, put it back in the Gen 8, and then we have to fix the steering linkage. Okay, so real quick, before we put the steering linkage in, this is the Amazon Special. Now I say Amazon Special because I don't know the brand, but I'll put it on the screen. That's all the number stuff. I'm sure you can scan that or put that barcode in and it'll pull up. This is a light bar for the Gen 8 Traxxas 10 GUI RC, whatever they're called. But this is going to be a light bar and we're going to put it on the truck. Let me undo this wrapping real quick. What the heck is this thing made of, dude? Alright, we are going to plug it in somewhere. I don't know yet. I guess we got to figure that out, because for right now I'll plug it into the steering section, but I may run it hardwire into the lights that I already have on the truck on the body. But let me put a battery in there and let's see what we got. Oh, battery's right here. I lied. Okay, so let me get the okay, well, one second before we do that. Okay, transmitter's on. Don't ever not turn your transmitter on, please, because fires. Alright, so this is the light. Holy crap, that's right. Holy crap. Okay, I mean, you can kind of see what's going on. So there is a little like visor, so I guess that's so it doesn't beam up, I would assume. Yeah, so it's like more direct. That's pretty cool, man. I mean, that's as bright as it gets. I'm looking on the viewfinder. It's pretty daytime out. It's actually really cloudy today, but it's about like 4:30, so I assume around 5ish the sun's gonna come down, because again, this is Georgia. So yeah, I think what I'll do is I'll show you guys that in a little bit, but I'll tap into the wiring that's already in the truck that I did the lights on. I think I have that video up, actually. It's like one of the first videos I did on the truck. So yeah, that's awesome. And then while we're here, I'm gonna show you guys this stuff. So this is the 6mm stainless steel E-parts, new, made in China, X0034JAA4L, thick line, little line, little line, thick line, little line, thick line, thick line, little line, little thick line, thick line, little line, thick line, thick line. So that's the barcode right there. You can just punch that in and it'll pull up. So this is the metal version of these things. So these are metal, right? Which is awesome. I guess that's more weight in the front, which I guess is kind of like a bad thing. You don't really want that for these because it's already front heavy. But these are made of plastic, and if you see from my old one, right, that's where it failed at. The plastic made linkages, so that's not good. I was hoping that everything would be metal, so this wouldn't happen again. But it does look like it's much thicker plastic. Or no, it's about the same thickness. But this is definitely thicker, the actual screw part. So, I mean, given that it's the same thickness, right, and the screw is bigger, so that means there's less plastic around the actual part. So who knows? This may or may not be good. Okay, so from what I see, there's a steering link in the back, and I think that's the sway bar. Yeah, that's the sway bar that keeps everything in place. So let me look at this for a second, and then I'll be able to fully educate you guys, because I have to educate myself first, because that's how things work. Okay, so it's been about 10 minutes, and I've realized that this kit is completely different than the OEM steering linkages. So there's two things I could do here. Either return this and get the right one, or try to figure this out. I'm going to definitely figure it out, I think. But I'm going to have to go on my phone and do some research. Because, so the sway bar in the back looks like it's going to be this one with a little bit of a bend to it. I'm not going to replace it because it's fine. It's not broken, and it's kind of a... Really? There's like a helicopter flying right now? Really, bro? Really, bro? You gonna just fly over me right now? So rude, bro. Honestly. Okay, that helicopter is gone. Thank God. So the sway bar I'm gonna keep. Now this is a shorter one, right? And then this is kind of like a longer one. I think the longer one is gonna go there, because the shorter one would be too short. So that one's out of the picture. So now the big linkage that goes in the center, so we'll keep that one obviously. And then I think this is how you're supposed to do it. You do like that, and then I'll take this off because this goes to the actual servo. So it'd be kind of like that, right? Yeah, and the servo's like right there. So I'm thinking that you use this big long one, this screw that they give you, goes in the wheel, right through the wheel, and then it's gonna house the link, and then I guess we got to figure out which one is which, but we'll have that one, right? Because that kind of fits. It doesn't really rub. And then they'll have that part. I'm gonna try to screw it in just a little bit. Is it reverse thread? I don't know. Oh, I think you make your own thread. Okay. I don't want to do anything yet, just in case I have to return it. So, yeah. So I think I have it down. And this little nut will go right there. And then, yeah. I think that makes sense. So I don't know if it needs the angle ones, because the original ones are straight, right? And so I can put the straight ones, because that makes more sense. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's right. I don't know. I gotta look it up. But that goes there, and then you'll have one on that. The steering linkage will go on that with the servo, and I think that's how it works, because it didn't come with this piece, this like special piece right there. I don't know if y'all can see that, but I'll zoom in. But yeah, I don't know. We'll figure it out. All right, guys, we're actually filming on the phone now. This is a phone. You're actually watching. You're watching this from my phone. But anyways, I think I figured out the steering linkage situation. I got one light right there. This is like a spotlight for hunting, I guess. I got the car running because this one doesn't get driven that much. This is actually the Pathfinder. This is the channel that I upload on. But yeah, this is the Pathfinder. It doesn't get ran much, so I'm running it right now so the battery will charge because it was almost dead. But it's also giving me a little bit of light so I can work in here. And I do have the light from the phone. I'm going to take the wheels off and take these steering links off and kind of just play around with this. I think the idea was what I said earlier, that you have your main link that connects both the wheels, and then you have some sort of shaft that goes on top of it, and then those all connect into that. And then these are extra pieces, I assume. I'm sure they're for that sway bar part right there, but we're gonna do this one step at a time. So I'm not gonna hold you guys up or anything because there's no tripod. I'm holding it. So I'll be back in a second. So I have this put on. I didn't realize that. I should have realized actually. These are reverse threads, so one side goes in and the other one is the opposite. So that took a while. I had to actually use a vise because I guess it's so cold out. It's really hard to do things like that. But I think I'm going to call it quits on this current setup because my main light did go out. And it looks like a lot of light right now, but it's because the phone's on. So yeah, let's pack it up for another day. But I did get the servo on. I got the servo on. I got to get it hooked up and stuff and ran. But yeah, we're getting closer. I want to get this done pretty soon because there may be a blizzard coming into Georgia. And so I want to make sure that this one is ready for that. Okay, so we are back. In the last clip, I just reviewed it. We put the linkages onto the actual main steering link. So I was thinking about this, and before I do anything else, I'm going to make sure that this is straight on with the wheels. And how I'm going to do that is just put the screws through this and just make sure that they're even. So let's do that real quick. Shouldn't take too long. I'm not going to use the new screws. I'll just use the original screws that I have right here. So yeah, let me do that real quick. I have it in right now, and I can already tell that I need to do a little bit of adjusting. It looks like this side's a little bit shorter than that side. And these may be even, or this bar actually looks uneven, so yeah, I gotta figure that out too. There's a lot, man. This little kit, I wish it came with instructions. That would be really cool to have. Okay, so I think I need to loosen these two, maybe like 4 turns each. I think that'll be a good start. Alright, I got both the linkages on. This one kind of got chewed up. It just happens, cheap plastic. But the linkage is on. I think I have them to where I want them. As far as adjustment goes, I put the wheels on. It's a slight bit off, but honestly, it's an RC car, not a real car. It doesn't matter. It's not going to wear the tires a certain way. It's not going to do any of that. It's just a little toy, you know, no biggie. It'd be cool if there was like alignment machines for these things. I'm sure in a more professional grade, you can get, you know, the little measuring tapes and you can measure it out that way, like you would do without an alignment rack. But it's okay, you know, it's on. So now here's the next step, the harder part. We have to find out which of these is gonna link up to the steering horn, whatever this thing is called, the steering connector thing. And then I was thinking about this smaller one, and I think that's if you wanted to run steering from the passenger side, or the passenger side right here. Yeah, see how close that is? I think that's what you would use. So that makes sense. So we're not going to do that. We're going to run it off the driver's side today. And yeah, go from there. So I'll add the linkages to this thing and we'll see what it does. I just noticed that this is a completely metal steering connector, so that's pretty cool. Let me try to take this one off on camera actually. See if there's any funny business going on. Okay. So as far as anything special, this is just a regular metal piece. Put that in there. This is the screw for it. Now there is this like bushing thing. I don't really think we can take that off and use that somewhere else. But I will definitely keep all of this stuff for you know, safety and stuff, just in case we ever need it in the future. Okay, I have the longer of the two pieces built. Now again, I just put them in there. I haven't sized it up or measured it or anything. So right now we're going to turn the RC on, turn the remote on, make sure that steering is straight. We'll put the steering horn on and then go from there. Okay, so right now on the remote there's these adjustments. This is on the stock Redcat remote. Make sure your steering trim is at 0, because whatever it was before, it won't be the same. And you just want to make sure everything's centered, everything is on. I have my dual rate set to 100, just because right now I don't know, you know, what is what. And then my steering is normal right now as well. So depending on whichever way it works, you may have to reverse it. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, this is gonna swing this way, right? And I did notice actually on the links. So on the links, it's hard to see on camera, I think, but no, you can see it. Right here on this side, there's a high side, and then there's a low side. Alrighty, everything is installed, tightened, and all of that nature. So I did have a lot of issues going in. I realized that the long shaft is not the right one. I don't know what setup that's for, but you use the short one, and then whatever side your servo's on, the closest one to the axle. So I hope that makes sense. So like if your servo's the actual part that it goes in is facing the closest axle, you put the shortest one there, because the other side was working well, but when the suspension bottomed out, it made the steering turn all the way to the left, and so every time it would go down, it turned left. So this angle is perfect. I don't think anything else could go wrong with this. When it goes all the way down, you can see that the suspension does not move, so that's good. I did have to adjust that a little bit just so that it could get it to you know, sit out a little further. But yeah, that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. So I think I'm going to put the wheels on, and then we will mess with the dual rates and all that good stuff. Actually, I don't even think I need to put the wheels. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to find your dual rate knob. It's going to be on the very right side on this remote. And as you can see, when I turn the steering, there's a point where the wheel doesn't stop. The wheel stops turning, and then the suspension moves right there. And then likewise going the other way. See, the wheel has stopped, and now it's maxing out. So what you want to do is you turn all the way to that side, and then you start dialing down the dual rate to right where the wheels stop spinning or stop turning. So about right there. So now when you turn, there's not as much. Alright, let's put the wheels on. Let's take it for a test drive. That was rude. Wheels are on. Everything is tightened down. We're just going to do a quick test drive to make sure that fixes our problem. Okay, so as far as the steering goes, I think it's fine. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of it. It feels like the vehicle is not as responsive as it used to be. But the steering linkages are rubbing on the tire. Now the old ones were rubbing too, so that's not a huge deal. I'm not really concerned as long as it's not like ripping the tire apart. But yeah, I think that's good. Let's work on the LED. Let me fix this cable too. Okay, I have the truck back upright. As far as the light goes, what I'm gonna do is like I did last time. I'm just going to plug that in, and I'm gonna put power to it. And we're gonna find a good place to put this this little light bar, because I don't want it somewhere where it's gonna keep getting hit, but I also don't want it. I don't know where I was at, but I'm gonna connect the battery, and I'll also hook up the other lights. Okay, so you can kind of see the truck. Don't mind the hanging steering linkages. So yeah, where should we put this? Obviously it can be angled any which way. That looks really good, honestly. I like that a lot. I like it on the bumper. So that's an option too. I could stick the bumper out a little more and mount it on the actual bumper, because then it'd be really protected against anything, really. And then I don't have to worry about unplugging it when I take the body off. Let's look at what type of screws that they give us in mounting brackets, because that's going to really tell us what we can do with it. There's a lot of little bits and pieces, so I got to be careful. So it's one of these, right? Like these little L brackets, which is pretty good. Where would I be if I was a light bar? I think what I can do to help me out is I'm gonna mount these guys on here, because then I can choose better, or I know like a better place for them, if that makes sense. So there's gonna be 4 holes, right? Because 2 brackets and then the 4 holes that mount to the body, and then there's 2 screws for the actual bar. Okay, but unfortunately there's 4 of each, so I assume they expect you to lose some. But I think since there's nuts for these smaller ones, let's see. Yeah, these nuts are for the smaller ones. These longer ones, the thicker ones, will go into the light bar, I assume. So let's put it in there. It doesn't say what size it is, but we get to use a new tool today. This is the Hyper Tough electric screwdriver. This is great for like hobby stuff, because it can also, you can adjust the torque. So I have it on the lowest setting, and I'm just gonna do a little twisty twist. It also comes with an assortment of these little guys, and I mean, you probably have every single you probably have every single one of these that you could think of. So it's great that it's universal. I do have this kit. This is the Cobalt kit that it comes with like a bunch of tools. I got one year for Christmas, so I'll just grab one of these screws and see what we're working with. Okay, so as far as right now, the screws for the actual light bar is going to be some H5 and 64, I guess. But it's that very last one. Yeah, 5-64. I'm sure that's American numeration. I can't read because I'm illiterate. But we're just going to easily put this in there and try not to break things. I know it's dangerous using a drill for this. So the beauty about this thing is you can manually do it. Oh, what in tarnation? Okay, so I guess those aren't the screws. Then what the heck they give you 4 screws for? They don't go nowhere. Yeah, those go in there. I am so confused. That makes no sense. Okay. Well, let me figure this out, I guess. Okay, we're back. One of the washers decided to go on vacation in the gravel driveway. So that is gone forever now. This one may be too thick, but for testing purposes, it will be just fine. Okay, I've already noticed that this thing doesn't tighten a lot, just because this is plastic and it's a metal screw. So I think we're gonna have to take these little Phillips screws off. One is already rounded off too. That's great. We're gonna have to take these little screws off and then put these washers on the back end, because yeah, that's not gonna hold up very long. But it is just for testing right now. See, it's already loose. It probably doesn't help that that's kind of thicker, but on this side too, I tightened it all the way and it's spinning. So with vibrations and stuff, that's not going to last long, I can already tell. Something I can do that's pretty neat, because I want to be able to put this in the best location possible. It'd be cool if I could get like 3 and then put like 1 in the back, 1 in the bumper, and 1 up top. But I want to see if I like right here or on the window. I think that would look pretty awesome. Or on the bumper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close the shed doors and just have it in there and see what it does. Alright, so I got the RC car on the ground. Now I'm going to close these doors. Okay, the lighting is, this is pretty much, the light that you're seeing is the actual LED putting that off. Because if I take it away, that's the cracks between the door, and then that's the light bar itself. So this is what it looks like on top, right? So you can obviously see that there's, even though the headlights are on, right, you're not going to see in front of the truck, which is fine because it's literally illuminating everything else. So let me see if I can get a better angle on this. Yeah, so that's literally everything. Yeah, and that's off and that's on. I can go a little lower, right? In here I can actually place it. So a little lower, you're not seeing the front area at all. But over there where the bug stop is, I mean, that's its line of view. So most of the light is honestly getting reflected from the visor. Now we could angle it up a little bit. I mean, that may help a little bit, but I don't know. What do you guys think? I do have taillights as well, but they're just standard taillights, nothing special. So I can't really tell what I like. And that's light bar, or that's a bumper mount. So I mean, that's really out there, but I feel like I'm losing visibility as well. So like if I'm going up like tall grass, right, it's going to be covered by that light bar, or like everything's going to be hitting it. It's going to be causing shadows like that. I don't know. I feel like we could get one for the bumper, but it'd have to be a little bit shorter. And then I think that would look really nice. I feel like, as ugly as it is, or no, it's not even ugly, but I think the best option is top. Like very top. And then since it's not long enough to mount to the sides, because it's not that type, which is fine, we can mount it like that. Yeah, because I guess you'd want to see everything. I don't know. Let me do some thinking. So here's something that I was figuring the lights out and that I noticed. You see that light right there? The camera's doing a great job picking it up too, so I'm pretty surprised. That whole beam is the light bar. That little light bar is doing that. And so I think I'm going to mount it right there. In between, like in front of the windshield and on the bumper. Just because I know that this truck rolls over a lot, just because of the way I drive. And if I mount it to the top, right, it's going to get stuck up there. Or it's going to be hitting everything. And if I mount it right there, it's going to be more protected, you know, when it does roll over. So yeah, that thing is super bright. So I have the light bar opened, and there's plenty of space for the nut to go in there. So that's awesome. I think that's what they intended you to do, but again, there's no instructions or anything, so it's kind of hard to know if you're supposed to do something if there's no instructions. Okay, so this is the Hyper Tough in action. So I have it set to the lowest, and I'm trying to put this screw in, right? And it's stopping itself because the torque is too much. And that's awesome. Now as far as backing out, it's not the same. It's not the same same MO. So what I am gonna do, instead of putting that nut in there, I'm gonna try to use this other screw because I feel like that's the one that's supposed to be in there. Like it sits flush with the mount. It just doesn't make sense why they would give you that other one. So I'm gonna try to start this. And I'm not gonna tighten it all the way. I'll just keep it like that, just so we can spin it. We can kind of spin it to put the other ones in, to put it back into the light bar.
Hey! Because it was still hot out. And I hadn't done it yet. I was using it for the saw. Or the...
I know you hear them crying over there like, Hector, I'm hungry and cold as shit and you can't even warm me up. I know you hear them crying.
I was busy.
I know you hear them. Dallas saying, get your ass over here. I know you hear them. They're over here going.
Family chat.
See, that's them crying.
I was gonna run it in a second. What you up to?
I'm gonna go warm up my children.
With the fan?
No. It rained. I gotta go put straw.
Okay. You need my help?
I don't know. Are you gonna take the straw too?
I'm on to you.
Yes.
Alright, it's been a couple months since you saw that last clip. I'm editing the video. A lot of things have changed. There's actually a garage door now instead of 2 double doors. But real quick, I'm actually working on the metal, what's it called? The magnets for these, for the body mounts, but that's going to be at a later episode. It may not even be an episode, it's just its own video. But I just wanted to show you, because I didn't show it when I was doing it. But back here, I put those little nuts in. Let me see if it focuses. I put the nuts on the back of the screws. The screw themselves going into the plastic held up just fine. But I put those nuts on there just to make sure that it didn't wobble off. But yeah, that's the Gen 8 as of right now. That body's on backwards, but I'll fix it later. Alright guys, this is the closing for the video. It is daytime right now, but I will get a clip of the vehicle at night showing off the LED bar. I think in the next episode, I do have like an old Fly Sky remote, and I'm going to be able, I want to put that in this car so I could turn the lights on and off, because this is only a 2-channel remote and the other one is like a 4-channel. So that's pretty awesome. So really liking it. The steering I still have to iron out. It's not 100% perfect. I don't have as much of an angle as I used to have, which I guess is a good thing, because before it would tip over super easily if you're going full speed. So maybe that's intentional. Who knows? But if you guys have ever used this steering setup, let me know if I did something wrong, because I have no idea what I did. It is working though, so that's pretty good. As you can tell, I'm like bundled up. It's like 20 degrees outside, or like 14 or something. But alright, thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.